This is Carol Roy live on the VMworld floor. I'm talking with Pivot3. We have Bill Galloway and Lee Caswell. And we are talking about a really neat solution that they've got to offer. Lee, can you give us a little bit of history on the company, and maybe even, I think people are going to recognize you as well. So you have a pretty storied history here.
Thank you, Carol. Glad to be here. Pivot3 was founded in 2003 and has built the first iSCSI SAN that hosts embedded servers. And so as we've looked at where the name Pivot3 came from, the first pivot point on introducing server virtualization was putting it in servers. You had underutilized CPUs and servers, consolidated those and pointed that to a little bit of storage. We're seeing Cisco in this market put virtualization into the switches, so taking the switch as the architectural point of control. And now for high capacity environments, you're seeing Pivot3 apply server virtualization into the storage in IP SAN with the effect that we can consolidate servers, run the compute inside the IP SAN for the very first time.
So effectively, completely backwards from the way that we originally thought about virtualization.
We don't use the term backwards often.
It's
more innovative.
It's the new normal. It's the new normal.
What you're seeing is that virtualization and application of any new technology depends on the dominant workload. And so if the dominant workload is on the server side, well then applying server virtualization and consolidating servers and leaving the storage independent probably is a good thing. But if you have a very storage dominant workload, and we've seen this in some areas like in the anything that has to do with rich media, with disk-based backup, offsite DR, where now you've got markets where high relevant amounts of storage capacity and a smaller amount of compute capacity means that applying virtualization here is a really cost-effective way to consolidate your infrastructure.
So, Bill, let's talk tech about the product a little bit. Tell us how it works and what some of the implications are, good, bad, and ugly, of using it.
Okay, what we are showing here at the show is we have 4 appliances that are clustered together in an array. So that's 48 terabytes of raw storage. And we run RAID in a clustered environment across these boxes. So any given box can fail, up to 3 drives can fail, any switch can fail, any single component can fail, and we keep it right on track. What we had was a lot of excess CPU capacity in these boxes. We were using standard servers just because they were cost effective. Our software takes those standard servers and makes them reliable. But we had all this excess CPU capacity in the servers. So we used virtualization to carve out that extra CPU capacity and make it available to run apps. So that's what we're showing here. We have ESX running, and we're running in one VM. We're running SharePoint, we're running Exchange, we're running SQL Server, and we're using an Nmage remote replication software that we're running in these VMs and all of these are very storage-rich applications that take advantage of what we have here is the 48 terabytes raw, which is 36 terabytes of usable storage that is RAID 6 protected to lose an appliance or any free drives.
Now, from a market standpoint, what this means is that customers now can just take these scale-out appliances, right? So each appliance is 12 terabytes and a free server, essentially. So as you take that, you can say, well, gosh, with 4 appliances, it's 48 terabytes. With 10 appliances, it's 120 terabytes. And I've got, let's say, 10 free or 12 free server images in each one. And now you can start mixing and matching and say, hey, here's a really interesting way to go in. First, eliminate the need for external servers. That's nice savings in power, cost, rack space, and cooling. And then secondly, once you make the servers virtual, now if any appliance fails, similar to how we protect the storage, we can protect the applications. Applications can restart, reboot automatically without any management or user intervention. It's all self-healing for the user.
So we're talking pretty much immediate ROI, ease of use. Who would you say would be the customer or the type of company that would most benefit from your service?
Well, we're talking with customers now who are looking at on-premise disk-based backup. So in other words, taking it as a way to go and move away from tape archival for restore purposes. So using disk, right, is now practical and cost-effective for getting very fast restores, right, in a local environment. Again, the mix of capacity density relatively high, the mix of servers relatively low. We're also looking at remote DR sites, right? So the ability to have an integrated server storage package so that not only is your data protected offsite, but you can go and access it and get started in case anything happens to your primary site.
Lee and Bill, thanks so much for giving us a peek at the Pivot3 solution. Best of luck at the rest of VMworld.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.